hardly any other characters hold as much sway over the Marvel Universe as the primitive mutant Apocalypse. With a moniker like that, it's evident that the X-Men villain is a uniquely terrifying force, even in a world where superpowers are rampant. Apocalypse's strength manifests itself in a wide range of abilities and powers that are pretty overpowered. Thus, in this marvelous video, we will be ranking 12 of Apocalypse's unholy skills and see why he poses such a great threat to all of humanity. Trust us, by the end of this list, just the sheer scale of the first mutant's abilities will confound, perplex, and even amaze you. But before proceeding, please like this video and subscribe to our channel. This might be just a small click for you, but it means an awful lot to us. With that out of our way, let's dive right in. The beginning of Apocalypse. The terrifying Apocalypse first appeared way back in 1986 on the pages of X-Factor number 5. Louise Simonson created him as an A-League Magneto-level threat for the relatively new X-Factor team. None of them knew back then that Apocalypse would become such a fan favorite that they would keep him for multiple arcs across numerous X-Men titles. Simonson explained that with Apocalypse, he wanted to create a big, evil villain to stand his own against the mutant team. The core of Apocalypse is his strictly Darwinian belief system, which is one of the most disturbing philosophies we have ever seen, even for a villain. For Apocalypse, survival of the fittest is absolute, and he would gladly sacrifice even the most loyal of his aides for even the most minimal sign of weakness. No wonder most of the universe considers the first one an Omega-level threat. Due to all of these factors, Apocalypse began starring in many story arcs, like the 90s storyline Age of Apocalypse. To put it plainly, Apocalypse is the closest thing we have to a mutant god. Apocalypse was born En Sabah Nur in Egypt back in 3000 BC. Even as an infant, he was pretty unique due to his gray skin and prominent facial markings. The child's boundless potential was recognized by the leader of a band of desert nomads at a very early age. The leader, Baal, raised Apocalypse as his own, and it was here that he first imbibed the philosophy of survival of the fittest. To this day, this simple line is what Apocalypse lives and dies by, a fact that is evident from his every action. Through millennia, Apocalypse has roamed the earth as a mutant messiah, encouraging the populace to worship him as a god. Appearing at many pivotal points throughout history, he has had a significant hand in shaping the Marvel Universe as we know it today. In the modern era, Apocalypse first reared his head after sensing the arrival of the time-traveling mutant Cable. Since then, he has been a constant thorn in the X-Men's side, appearing in almost every major story arc in the comics. Even though he was done a bit dirty by the Fox films, Apocalypse is still one of the most iconic villains to have made it to the pages of a comic. A being of almost limitless malice, Apocalypse sees humans as inferior to the mutants. After centuries of tests on humans, Nur arrived at this decision, which helped him confirm that mutants are indeed the superior species. Cruel, sadistic, and ruthless, the monster will stop at nothing in his relentless quest to cull the weak humans from the planet. He has come close to accomplishing this lofty goal on multiple occasions thanks to his fearsome capabilities. Also, Apocalypse is quite prone to augmenting his body with otherworldly technology, which makes him a greater threat every time he reappears. Now that you're more or less familiar with this godlike being, let's take a look at the top 12 powers Apocalypse has manifested over the years. Biomolecular alteration. Apocalypse's mutation grants him flawless control over every molecule in his blue body. This might not appear as cool as a laser blast from your eyeballs, but trust us when we tell you that it is one of the most powerful skills we have ever seen in the X-Men. With this infallible control over his own molecular structure, Apocalypse's body can adjust to any adversity at a molecular level. This gives his entire body strange malleability, allowing Apocalypse to elongate his appendages and even change his entire appearance. Since Apocalypse's body structure is basically unlimited, he can also increase or decrease his size at will. This alteration is also well suited for close combat, as Apocalypse can give himself whatever physical power he wants. In his journey, he has transformed his limbs into various weapons ranging from swords to plasma cannons. Also, since his body can change into anything he wants, Apocalypse can survive anything from harsh environments to warheads. Apocalypse's physical attributes also transcend that of any normal being, making him capable of lifting upwards of 1,000 tons and providing him with speed that's reminiscent of Quicksilver. So yeah, Apocalypse's entire body is essentially a weapon, but our next entry will make it even more evident. Energy manipulation. Apocalypse seems to have access to an almost endless supply of raw energy. He presumes to draw this power from extra-dimensional space and can also project it in the form of destructive blasts. With his unrestricted control over this energy, Apocalypse can mentally create, control, generate, and project force fields and attacks that are more powerful than most modern weaponry. This energy can also be used to envelop and trap other individuals. These energy prisons are strong enough to subdue beings as powerful as Exodus, but emitting energy is barely the tip of the iceberg. Apocalypse can also absorb massive quantities of energy to the point that he once sought all the power from Cyclops' optic beams, leaving him powerless for months. Noor can infuse his entire body with pure energy, endowing him with speed comparable to a speedster. Over the years, Apocalypse has performed many unlikely feats, like breaking through Invisible Woman's fields, resisting Jean Grey's telekinesis, and was even unfazed by Storm's lightning bolts. How do you defeat a foe that throws stronger every time you hit them? Telekinesis. Apocalypse's use of telekinesis has to be one of the villain's most underrated abilities. But that's the downside of having so many powers, you just can't keep track sometimes. Jokes aside, Apocalypse possesses telekinetic abilities on par with some of the most powerful mutants we have ever seen. Owing to his indomitable will, Apocalypse can physically control living beings and inanimate objects. Like most of his other abilities, we haven't really seen the full potential of Apocalypse's telekinesis, but he can casually lift more than 100 tons with his mind. Another advantage of Apocalypse's telekinesis is that it allows him to fly at supersonic speed by propelling him using psionic energy. Telepathy. Apocalypse's telepathy is one of his fearsome traits. Having your brain invaded is a horrifying idea even by itself, but it becomes much more dangerous when the invader is a 1,000-year-old psychopath. With his telepathic powers, Apocalypse can perform a wide range of feats like absorbing information, astral projection, and even mind transference. His mental prowess is so great that he can defeat Jean Grey in a telepathic battle inside Cable's mind. This is no small feat because Jean is objectively the second greatest mentalist the world has ever seen. Even when facing the combined attacks of Jean and Professor X, Apocalypse could still stand his ground, proving once and for all that you don't want him in your head. Immortality. Apocalypse belongs to a subspecies of mutants known as externals, with all 10 members truly immortal. He has lingered on the planet for over 5,000 years, and one can safely claim that his immortality is self-evident. Apocalypse has been immortal since birth, even before he went many technical augmentations to increase his powers. Over the years, he has also gotten his hands on the otherworldly celestial technology, which allows him to walk off wounds that should have been lethal. In the comics, Apocalypse dies and is reborn several times, proving that even if you were to kill his body, his conscience still manages to survive. Technopathy. As if his total control over the physical and the astral realms wasn't enough, Apocalypse is also quite adept at technopathy. This allows him to interact directly with even the most advanced technologies, giving him nearly complete control over most machinery. This combined with Apocalypse's formidable technology and engineering knowledge, allows him to understand everything from Shi'ar medical equipment to celestial tech instantaneously. Especially in the latter's case, Apocalypse achieved a true merger between his body and the celestial tech, which further augmented his superhuman capabilities, making him nigh invulnerable. After achieving complete synergy with the celestial tech, Apocalypse gained the power to establish a mental link with technology. Forget energy blasts. He could probably defeat every teenage X-Man just by accessing their browser histories. Expert physical combatant. One can't be hailed as the greatest villain on the planet without landing a few punches. Even though Apocalypse's powers negate the need for direct physical confrontation, the first mutant still enjoys fistfights. He has been trained in numerous forms of armed and unarmed combat, as he was a respected warrior even before his powers became manifesting. Over the years, he has fought the who's who of the Marvel Universe, including fighters like Wolverine, Cyclops, and even the Prime Eternal Icarus. Power granting. This one's the most infamous of Apocalypse's abilities. After all, this power allowed him to raise the Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Using skill in manipulating biological matter and the technological advancements granted by his celestial armor, Apocalypse can grant great power to almost any mutant he desires. He often uses this power to build his primary strike force, the Horsemen. The mere existence of the Horsemen is a testament to Apocalypse's unparalleled understanding of both mutation and technology. Traditionally, these mutants take up the mantles of pestilence, war, famine, and death, and observed the strict social Darwinism that Apocalypse preaches whenever he gets an opportunity. Being turned into a horseman greatly augments the mutant's base abilities, but also puts them under Apocalypse's control completely. Terrible deal, to be honest. Though Apocalypse's first horsemen were his biological children, many renowned heroes like Hulk, Wolverine, and Gambit have been forced or manipulated into joining Apocalypse's side over time. Superhuman Intelligence. When talking about a man who messes with alien technology and mutant genetics on an everyday basis, it's an understatement to call them wise. But yeah, Apocalypse is unbelievably smart, and that's a fact. Noor almost transcends the human concept of intellect, owing to his boundless genius expertise in various fields like genetics, biochemistry, mutagenics, etc. He has intricate knowledge regarding the biology of numerous species like Atlanteans, deviants, Skrulls, and mutants. He is one of the few people outside the Weapon X program capable of the adamantium bone bonding process, which he utilized on Wolverine when Logan lost his mettle. After living for thousands of years, Apocalypse's brain patterns are so advanced that normal humans can't even comprehend them, making it almost impossible to foresee his plans. His familiarity with alien materials has also come in handy on multiple occasions, allowing him to easily use technology centuries ahead of Earth. Psionic resistance. One of the powers often ignored while talking about Apocalypse is the monster's practically indomitable will. After centuries of being one of the strongest beings in the universe, Apocalypse has an unshakable confidence in his strength, which allows him to resist almost all psionic interference. By stealing his mind, Apocalypse can defend his mind from attacks from even the fiercest of telepaths, including Professor X himself. This uncanny ability to shut off powerful telepaths allows Apocalypse to be utterly invulnerable to psionic attacks and even causes excruciating pain for anyone who attempts it. When even the Professor and Jean can't take you down, it's inevitable that you're a mental giant. Teleportation. As superhero fans, we can all agree that teleportation is a convenient trick. The ability to tear through time and space and instantaneously travel miles is beneficial for a murderous tyrant like Apocalypse, as it helps him save time on his tiresome quest for mutant supremacy. Apocalypse's ability to teleport is an understated but pretty standard part of the comics, and he has been depicted to be quite proficient at it. On multiple occasions, he has teleported himself and others across continents in the blink of an eye. He has even teleported massive objects, like an entire fortress, in some instances effortlessly. Whether this ability results from Apocalypse's mutation or an application of the celestial technology he acquired is unknown. Still, in any case, it seems to be extremely powerful. Power absorption. So this is perhaps the secret to Apocalypse's boundless knowledge of mutant powers and limitations. He seems to have a strange knack for finding powerful mutants and can even absorb these powers. Unlike Rogue, the absorbed powers seem permanent, and Apocalypse can draw them out at will. Factoring that he has roamed the planet for 5,000 years, who knows how many powers Apocalypse has acquired until now. Marvelous verdict. With this, we have gotten to the end of this long list. At this point, Apocalypse is more of a deity than a supervillain. He almost seems omnipotent and omnipresent, an entity beyond even time itself. Even more terrifying is the cold indifference in which he wields these powers, always working towards his ultimate objective of eradicating all humankind. Each battle with him is bound to be more challenging than the last. But even more terrifying is that he will never stop coming back for more. Do let us know your thoughts in the comments below, especially if we missed a power you would have liked to see on this list. That's it for this video, but don't forget to subscribe to our channel and stay updated with more marvelous content. Until then, goodbye and see you all next time.